Imagine looking up into the skies of Borneo in the 1950s. The villagers expect rain, but instead, thousands of cats come parachuting down.
No, this isn't a cartoon. This was a real mission, nicknamed Operation Cat Drop, when the World Health Organization literally airdropped live cats to solve a problem they accidentally created.
It's one of the strangest unintended consequences in history, proof that sometimes trying to fix one problem creates, well, a bigger, weirder one.
Welcome back to The Curious Past. I'm Danny.
And I'm Shan. Today, we're delving into the incredible and almost unbelievable true story of how one well-intentioned action led to collapsing roofs, rat infestations, and ultimately a bizarre rescue mission involving cats parachuting from the sky.
Let's rewind to the early 1950s. Borneo was a place of breathtaking beauty where ancient rainforests teemed with life and communities lived in harmony with nature.
However, the idyllic life in Borneo was under siege, not by war, but by a far more insidious enemy, malaria. The disease carried by mosquitoes ravaged local communities, causing illness, death, and hindering development.
The international community, eager to help, looked for the most effective solution available at the time.
The weapon of choice was DDT, dichlorodiphenol trichloroethane, a powerful pesticide hailed as a miracle solution for insect-borne diseases.
The World Health Organization, WHO, launched an ambitious program in Borneo, spraying vast quantities of DDT across the island to eradicate the malaria-carrying mosquitoes.
And initially it worked. The mosquito population plummeted and the incidence of malaria dropped dramatically. It seemed like a resounding success. But nature, as it often does, had a few surprises in store.
You see, while DDT was great at killing mosquitoes, it killed a lot of other things too. And this is where the chain reaction began.
DDT is a broad-spectrum pesticide, meaning it doesn't discriminate. While it killed mosquitoes, it also decimated other insect populations. One crucial victim was a species of parasitic wasp that preyed on thatch-eating caterpillars.
With their natural predator gone, the caterpillars exploded in numbers. Unchecked, they began to devour the traditional thatch roofs of the Dayak longhouses, causing them to literally collapse around the villagers.
But the ecological nightmare didn't stop there. The DDT, sprayed everywhere, began to accumulate in the food chain.
Insects that survived the initial spraying or were simply exposed to the residue were consumed by geckos. And the geckos, in turn, were a favorite meal for the local cat population.
The cats, essential for pest control in any village, began to sicken and die from DDT poisoning, a classic example of biomagnification, the concentration of toxins up the food chain. With the cats gone, a new, far more dangerous problem emerged, a massive rat infestation.
The rodents, unchecked by their natural predators, multiplied rapidly, swarming through villages, contaminating food supplies.
The very intervention meant to save lives was now indirectly threatening them with a new kind of epidemic. Suddenly, instead of malaria, the villages were staring down outbreaks of typhus and plague, spread by rats.
The British Colonial Office had to act fast. Their solution? More cats. But there was just one problem. There weren't enough cats in the villages anymore.
Faced with a collapsing ecosystem and a burgeoning health crisis, the World Health Organization, in cooperation with the British Royal Air Force, devised a solution so audacious, so utterly bizarre it sounds like something out of a cartoon. They decided to parachute cats into Borneo.
So, in 1960, Operation Cat Drop was launched. Cats were flown from Singapore to remote areas of Borneo. Placed in specially designed crates with small parachutes, they were gently dropped from the sky, drifting down into the most affected villages below.
While often sensationalized into tales of thousands of cats raining down, historical reports suggest a more modest but equally vital initial mission of around 23 cats to a critical district in Sarawak.
These aerial felines were quite literally saving the day one rat at a time. Imagine the scene. You wake up, step outside, and suddenly, it's raining cats, literally.
Believe it or not, yes, it actually worked. The operation was ultimately considered a success, helping to bring the rat population back under control and alleviate the immediate health threat.
Typhus and plague cases dropped, and the ecosystem slowly rebalanced.
But the story of Operation Cat Drop became a cautionary tale, a perfect example of the law of unintended consequences. It has become a legendary anecdote, often told with a chuckle, but it carries a profoundly serious message.
It stands as a stark and memorable example of unintended consequences and the complex interconnectedness of ecosystems. The well-intentioned use of DDT had a devastating ripple effect, disrupting a delicate balance across multiple species, from wasps and caterpillars to geckos, cats, and finally, rats.
All because of one simple mistake, not realizing that when you tamper with nature, nature tends to fight back.
Operation Cat Drop was being told in classrooms, in environmental studies, even in military strategy courses, as a reminder that interventions can spiral out of control.
It also shows how interconnected everything is. Mosquitoes, wasps, caterpillars, geckos, cats, rats, and humans. Pull one thread and the whole system unravels.
It highlights the critical importance of systems thinking, understanding that every action, no matter how small or well-meaning, can have far-reaching and often unpredictable impacts on the environment.
In the pursuit of solving one problem, humanity inadvertently created a cascade of others, requiring an intervention that was as unconventional as the problem itself. The cats that parachuted into Borneo are a quirky footnote in history, but their story is a vital lesson on respecting the intricate web of life.
And while it makes for a hilarious headline, it's also a sobering reminder. Sometimes saving lives in the short term can create chaos in the long term.
So what do you think? Was Operation Cat Drop a clever save, or just proof of how badly humans can mess things up when we play with nature?
And here's a thought. If you were a villager back then, and you saw cats falling from the sky, would you think it was divine intervention or just another day in Borneo?
Thanks for watching The Curious Past. If this story made you laugh, gasp, or rethink humanity's decision-making skills, hit that like button.
Subscribe for more strange history. We've got plenty more bizarre tales where this one came from.
Until next time, stay curious.